Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're checking out 5 types or 5 stages of the wireframe process. And I'm going to divide that into 5 different portions or 5 different chapters of this video. Also, this video couldn't be possible without our sponsors at Around. More on Around later. Alright, so the first kind of wireframe or the first stage of wireframing process is called the rough sketch. Now, this rough sketch is one of the only sketches made by different stakeholders of the company. It could be a product manager, it could be a product manager, a design lead, or straight up the company's CEO. The rough sketch is mainly to conceptualize a product, and it mainly exists because CEOs or stakeholders need to make sure that what they're imagining or what they're wondering about of their product should be tangible, should be able to convert into a website or an application. It's just there to assist the whole brainstorming process where you just draw out things when you're brainstorming with your team or you're brainstorming with other stakeholders. The rough sketch can also sometimes act as an explainer. So if someone who's not a designer mainly wants to explain a design to you or wants to explain how they conceptualized an application or a website in their mind, they might just draw some things out just to tell you, hey, I want this here or I want this there. Of course, honestly, it doesn't really help the designers much because it's just a concept. It's just an idea, and that idea hasn't been tested. That idea hasn't been researched on from a user's perspective, and it's definitely not been wireframed at this stage. The rough sketch is also the safest kind of wireframe. Why is it safe? Because you generally can draw something like this in an instant. In 2 minutes, you'll have an entire website sketched out. And that way, it'll help you understand whether the other person you're talking to or any of the other stakeholders are on the same page as you. So it's easy, it's cheap, and you don't have to be a designer to draw something like this. Alright, so I'm calling the next one the product manager, in double quotes, of course. Now, the product manager wireframe is basically a wireframe drawn out by product managers. Now, you might be wondering, product managers don't do UX, do they? Well, they don't, but since they're so in touch with UX designers and they understand what UI and UX is all about, they tend to draw things out with each other, with one another in their team, and then bring the entire design or entire wireframe to the designers when they're talking about, say, a certain product, a certain feature, or even a certain idea that they have. Man, I love these kind of product managers because these product managers have an understanding of design. They are able to figure out what can and cannot be done, what is affordable, what is feasible, and what takes how much time to build. This kind of product manager wants to actually understand how design works. He will often ask you questions about design and of course will ask for feedback on wireframes like this. Now, as you can see, this wireframe here just explains what a product manager's thought process or writing looks like. He's just drawn out boxes in different areas and is trying to explain to you what each one of those boxes, what each one of those buttons, whatever it is, means. So he's trying to help you understand the product and also get feedback on the wireframes. A lot of times these product managers will iterate these wireframes. So if they have a basic idea, they'll come to you with these wireframes, and if they get to communicate with you, they might make a lot of changes based on any feedback that you give. Now, this is one of the only stages where you're giving feedback to the product managers rather than the product managers coming and giving feedback to you. Of course, that's not 100% true. There are other stages you can do that, but this, I feel, is the most friendly, most casual way to communicate with the product manager. Great going, PMs. The reverse product manager. And what do I mean by this? Now, we already looked at the product manager, where the product manager communicates with us. Now, this one is where we're communicating with the product managers. Now, I've given a paper wireframe here, but it's often replaced by an actual wireframe, say made on Figma or XD. Now, in this case, this is the meeting that we often have with the PMs or product managers, where designers sit together with the product managers, discuss the designs that they've come up with based on the problems and solutions carried over from the PM team to the design team. Now, this is where the real challenge comes because the product managers often have something else in mind. And you can even relate this to a client. When you sit with a client, doesn't he always ask you for various iterations? Now, this is where the product managers will start criticizing and will start giving you feedback. And often you'll meet one or two product managers who don't really know very well how to give you feedback. So it might come out as huge criticism and even pushing down on your design ideas. That is why we tend to interact with product managers as often as possible. And in some companies, you're even allotted a certain set of PMs to work closely with on a certain project. And this is the stage where the wireframe transitions from, hey, we're just understanding the product. This is really important because here you really need to communicate three very important things. One, it's just a wireframe. Oftentimes, product managers don't understand the entire wireframing process. In that case, we need to explain to them that this is just for a black and white look and it's just for testing. Second, you need to understand what they're saying and where they're coming from so that the business objectives and user objectives are both balanced out. Third, you really need to make sure that these wireframes are fine-tuned. You don't want to go into a meeting looking at a wireframe which has some things here and some things there, and the text isn't, and there's no data, there's empty spaces all around. That raises a lot of confusion and question in the product manager's mind. Something that we're trying to avoid here. So I was recently excited to get my hands on a new tool called Around. And when they reached out to me to sponsor the channel, I was ecstatic. Around is an application available on Windows, Mac, Linux, even on your browser, which allows you to create on Figma, plan on your documents, even play games while in these cool circular bubbles where you can show your face and your voice, but you're creating things. So the focus is on creation and work rather than on the video platform. What really stood out to me is that whenever you move your face from left to right or in any other direction like this, it follows your face using its AI technology. So next time your mom walks in from behind while you're in a video conference, you don't have to worry because it's only focusing on your face and on nothing else. I'm absolutely in love with the dashboard design. That dashboard is very simple to understand, unlike other competitors. I'm not going to name any. And they have a 1-minute demo that you can interact with this demo and see how Around works. They have quick integration with Slack as well as Google Calendar, so you will never have any problems setting up meetings with your teams. And not only that, they have a crazy good iPhone app as well as Android app. I was actually in a meeting with some of my teammates from my business, and they have things like GIF support, emoji support, animated emojis and icons that add life to your meetings. It's not only boring old you sitting on the chair, you can add reactions and GIFs, and it gets crazy sometimes. So go ahead, check Around out, give it a whirl, game, design, develop, whatever you like. Now this is another stage which kind of combines with the PMs, but there are a lot of other stakeholders involved here as well. This is called the final meeting, and at this stage, you've actually made wireframes on your design tool of choice. You've worked on it, you've researched it, and there's also a little chance that you've done some internal testing with it just to figure out that something like this can work in the end. Now, the final meeting is often where design leads are there. They have understood your wireframes and they've okayed your wireframes. As well as there are other stakeholders, could be the PMs, sometimes even some content people, marketing people, or if there's a startup or if the CEO really wants to look at their product before it goes into design, they would be there as well. Now, this is where you often create a PPT or a presentation where you need to put everything into order. You need to have business objectives clear, user objectives clear. You have to clear out how you are tackling different problems that you are facing as a product and what you've utilized from a designer's perspective to fix those issues. By the way, I forgot there are developers in the meeting often too, so can't forget the developers. Now, the final meeting is also what people expect. So make sure you have graphics laid out, you have icons laid out, the content is more or less ready. So you have some good amount of content because the content can also help solve a lot of problems there. Everything accumulates, and that is why it's an accumulative meeting with a lot of stakeholders involved. Now, I really wanted to say ready for the UI designers because after the wireframe is finalized, generally is taken up by the UI designers in a company. However, here I have tagged it ready for the users. And what do I mean by this? Well, wireframing doesn't end at just having wireframes, is it? Wireframing ends when you have validated and tested your wireframes out. Puneet, what does that mean? That means that without validation, nothing works in the world, and so does wireframes. Wireframes, if they are tested at an early stage or from an early stage, they will become not only much better looking, but much more usable when the user finally uses it. And it also kind of eases the job of the UI designer, since he doesn't have to iterate again and again if you're still testing things out. Now, there are various forms of testing and validating these wireframes. Two that really come to mind: one is usability testing and the other is user testing. Other things like A/B testing or doing a market analysis side by side with your competition. However, the wireframes here will need two very crucial things: user testing and usability testing. Usability testing is figuring out how easy the interface is to use and how easily the user can go from one point of the website or app to the other point of the website or app, or even complete certain tasks. However, user testing is where you can ask users questions about the UI, about their experience, and websites that come to mind are usertesting.com. That way, you get a user's perspective from an early stage before the UI design begins. I would say this is both ready for the users and then it's ready for the UI designers. So the fifth one is the final wireframe. After that, you're probably going to see it only if there are new features to be added or some new iterations to be made. Now that is the story of wireframes and how a wireframe goes from a little child to a complete adult where he is ready for the real world. Now, if you like this video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. I come up with such short, crisp content every Monday and Thursday, often on design tools, often on UI and UX design, and sometimes even out of question or out of bounds topics. I'll see you every Monday and Thursday, same time, same place. Until next time, do take care of yourself. Have a great week ahead.